What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another update, and welcome to a late evening news update. I think a lot of people are missing some of the stuff that's been happening, especially watching some of the mainstream media. They are missing a lot of the news stories, so I want to bring you a few different stories that I think you would actually enjoy. First off, we know this has been insane. The last couple weeks have been crazy. Stock market goes up and down. Stimulus checks are going out, then they're not. Then they're waiting for people on Social Security because the SSA is waiting on the IRS, or the IRS is waiting on the SSA, and it was just a mess. But it's starting to get cleared up. People on Social Security, about 30 million people, are going to start receiving their stimulus checks. It could happen this Wednesday or the following week. So we could see where you might not get a stimulus check until the first week of April, which is very difficult because a lot of people need the help and they needed it weeks ago. Not just today and not in 2 weeks, they needed it weeks ago. So we also know right now that there could be a bigger delay in these stimulus checks going out, not because the IRS is not going to send them, but being that they're going to send them through the mail with paper checks and prepaid debit cards. What we know, according to many sources, is that the IRS has already stated that no, just because you received a direct deposit in the $1,200 stimulus checks or the $600 stimulus checks does not mean you will get direct deposits in this one as well. A lot of people are going to get their checks mailed, which if you have mailed anything lately, you know the United States Postal Service does take a little bit longer. So you may have to wait for them. So what I can tell you right now is hopefully you will get the checks quickly, but just understand they are coming. The IRS is trying to do their best. However, they do not have as many people, so it's causing a little bit more of a delay as well. Now, many of you have asked for the IRS's phone number. I'm going to give that to you, but here's the issue. Okay, I just want to preface this by saying if you call this number, you need to call it early. Okay, you need to wake up at like 4 o'clock. Okay, especially if you live on the Pacific Coast or over on the West Coast, if you're on Pacific Standard Time, you need to wake up at like 4 o'clock. Okay, if you're on the East Coast, obviously you don't gotta wake up that early. Okay, 3-hour difference. But just understand, you need to call early. Now, one other thing. When you call, chances are you are going to be on hold for hours. And in most cases, you will never talk to anybody. So, this may make you more upset by calling, waiting on the line, and never talking to anybody. But here's the number. The number is 800-919-9835. Give you that number one more time. It's 800-919-9835. That is the IRS's phone number. Now, I also want to shed some light on some of the biggest news that we have been hearing over the past few days. And you may have seen this, but there is a ship called the Ever Given. It is stuck in the Suez Canal. Now, you may be wondering, why am I even talking about this? Why does it matter? This matters for a bunch of different reasons. Okay, first, we are seeing one single ship hold up, hundreds of other ships, which is causing an estimated $400 million per hour in delays. Okay, now this will most likely send gas prices soaring. This will most likely, experts are saying that if this doesn't get freed by this weekend, which some are saying it will not, there is a chance that we are going to see a high tide, which could lift this ship a little bit out of the soil, and hopefully it can free it. However, some experts are saying they don't see this happening, and if this doesn't happen by this weekend, the last resort is to take a helicopter and go and take about 20,000 shipping containers off of this boat, off of this shipping vessel. And if that happens, that is going to take weeks. So what this could mean for everybody, here in the United States, is prices will most likely go up. Coffee could go up. Okay, clothing and shoes could go up. We know there's a lot of shipping containers. Some of the stuff that Tesla is waiting for. Okay, if you have a Tesla, maybe you're waiting for a part. It could be on that ship. Okay, so just understand there's going to be delays. There's going to be some costs that are going to be pretty much pushed on to the end consumer, which is us. So just understand, yes, we will most likely be affected by this as well. Now, Here's another thing we are going to be affected by, and that is the upcoming eviction moratorium expiration. That currently expires from the CDC on March 31st. Today is March 26th, so we only have 5 more days. What we do know is many utility companies are also on the verge of shutting off power and shutting off water, simply because people have not paid in many months. So they have the right to do this. However, some states have actually made it a ban where you cannot shut off water or electricity. California is one of those states. So good news is there are some states that will pretty much push this off, and you can get evicted, but you can't get your water or your water or electricity shut off. As far as gas, that's another one of those utilities that could potentially be shut off as well. So just understand, some states are going to start doing this within the coming weeks. Others will start doing this within a month or two. So just keep that in mind, depending on the state that you live in. If you are behind on any of these payments, then you run the risk of potentially getting your utilities completely shut off. Another thing that we are seeing is that Congress is working to get their final bills in, or proposals into President Biden, so that he can actually look at it and see if we should add it into the Build Back Better plan. Now, one thing I just want to say is there's a lot of different ideas floating around. We know there's the $2,000 per month stimulus checks, which could be added in. I'm not sure exactly how it would be, but it could be. We also know Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren want to include this student loan forgiveness of up to $50,000. They may have modified it up to only $10,000, but we don't know just yet. We also know that Bernie Sanders wants to include a $15 minimum wage. He also wants to lower the age for Medicare from 65 to either 55 or 60. And we also know there's a bill that actually has a number which has over 50% of House Democrats on board for Medicare for all. Those are all things that could be included. But I want to address one that I think is one of my personal favorites. Okay, this is one of my personal favorites, and I say this because this is something that I really liked when it happened the last time. So what it is, and I'm looking forward to this, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is going to introduce, according to recent reports, he's going to introduce his Cash for Clunkers 2.0 initiative. Now, many of you might not have any idea what this is, but in 2009, this was actually a bill that went through, was passed by the Obama administration, and what it allowed you to do, you can go take in an older car that I think it couldn't be any older than 25 years, and then it obviously had to have it didn't have to have a clean title, but it had to be, the VIN number had to go to that car. It couldn't be stripped, couldn't be anything like that, right? And so you can take this car into a dealer, and you can go and get a newer car, something that's better on gas, okay, more fuel efficient, a nicer car, right? Probably a little bit more expensive. You can go and take this car in, and you can get a tax credit. So let's say it was a decent sized car, whatever, used a lot of gas. Chances are you would have got about $4,500. I think the lowest you could get, I believe, okay, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was like $2,500. So it was still, if you had a older car, not really worth much, you would actually be, it would be better for you to take it into a dealership, get something a little bit newer. Let's say your car was only worth like $1,000. You can get an additional $1,500 by taking it in and getting this Cash for Clunkers deal. So it worked out really well. This was only going to go on for, it was like less than a year. And this initiative, or this bill, actually they ran out of the first, I think it was $1 billion, and they actually had to add an additional $2 billion, I believe, to that bill, to that piece of legislation. So it is something I'm looking forward to. I think this is going to help out not only the auto industry, I think it's going to help out the economy as well. It's also going to help where we will use less gas, we'll become more fuel efficient, and we could also see this as somewhat of a transition from gas cars to more electric, or more of a hybrid model. So we'll see what happens there. But this is actually something I'm looking forward to. I liked it back in 2009. I was a lot younger then, but I still liked it. So let me know down in the comment section below if there was a Cash for Clunkers. If you did it in 2009, let me know as well. But if there is a Cash for Clunkers 2.0 initiative, would you actually trade in, let's say, one of your older vehicles, potentially get something newer, and actually benefit from this tax credit? And as always, we are still hearing more talks about this fourth stimulus check, and I want to address this for a second because, and I get questions on this all the time. I think I just got one. It was just a little while ago. Now let me look. So yeah, right here. Why do you always bring up the fourth stimulus check? There is no fourth stimulus check. We're still waiting on the third. This was a comment I received about 18 minutes ago on one of my videos. So here's the reason why. Yes, we are still waiting on the third stimulus check. The IRS is still sending out. About 30 million people are still waiting on their $1,400 checks. But on top of that, we know many families haven't even received the full $1,400. They only got $700. So because of that, yes, there's millions and millions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars that we are still waiting on. But here's the reason I always talk about the fourth well, not always, but here's the reason why I continue to bring up the fourth stimulus check. It is simple. It is because more people are pushing for this. And I'm not talking about people like you and me. I'm talking about lawmakers. I'm talking about the people that actually make the law, pass the law, vote on the bills. I'm talking about them. They are pushing for more stimulus. They want to see additional stimulus because, according to one report, they believe that when President Biden sees how much better the economy is doing because of his $1,400 stimulus checks, he is most likely going to want to include additional stimulus checks in his Build Back Better plan. Now, I've said this for probably a couple weeks, that when this happens, keyword, when this happens, I do believe can actually have a pretty high conviction that yes, we are going to see a fourth stimulus check. It will most likely be before this summer. What I'm here to tell you is when this happens, it will most likely not go to every single American that received the $1,400 stimulus check. It would probably go to only those that were hardest hit. Now, I'm not telling you this to get your hopes up and get you to the point where you're spending all your $1,400 because you know there's another one coming. There's no guarantee that another one is coming. What I can guarantee you is there will be additional talks. We know the Progressive Caucus is continuing to work on this. They're continuing to push for the ABC Act, which would provide $2,000 per month for the entirety of this pandemic, and then $1,000 per month for 1 year after the pandemic has ended. So that's what we're hearing right now. As always, this is promising news that we are starting to get some more talks on different proposals, different ideas. But here's the thing. These are not just talks on, hey, let's just do this. They're actually providing details, and these details will benefit the American people. The Cash for Clunkers initiative, I personally like that one. I think that's a good one. It doesn't take much, right? It doesn't take much. Just a little bit. Providing a little bit of a tax credit for somebody that's going to go and buy a new car, which maybe they made a little bit extra money during the pandemic and they can afford a new car. Great. Maybe they can use that money to boost the economy. And if we boost the economy, hopefully, maybe people that are on, paid lower income, on minimum wage at $7.25, hopefully they will get a boost. Hopefully by improving the economy and stimulating it in any way, we can get everybody up to a little bit higher income. So I'm all for it, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section below if you have actually done it back in 2009 or if you would do it if they did it again this year, which all indications at this point look like they will. So we'll see. But as always, as I know more, I promise I will share more. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful Friday evening, and I'll see you guys on the next one.